Right, morning folks, it is the 12th of June. First time I had to get out for a while because the weather's been a bit naff recently. We've had rain for the last 3 or 4 days, showers. I mean, it's been quite heavy showers, but mainly showers. It's not supposed to rain today. I've got the day off work, so I'm heading fishing. I was supposed to go fishing yesterday. I was due to go down to Essex and fish with the old man, but obviously because it was going to rain all day, I cancelled that. I've moved that to next week, so hopefully there'll be another video a bit quicker than normal. But yes, today we are heading back down to the Syndicate. Right, so I've just got down, it's 7:30. I parked over behind the swim like I did last time. I've come over to that first swim where I fished the first session, just the far left swim, just to have a look, see if there's anything showing over here at all. Can't see anything showing at all. There's a lot of I don't know if you can see them at all. There's a lot of bugs on the water, so I'm not too sure what they are. Yeah, it's quite a few of them, but so there is natural bait for fish down here. So I'm going to have my swim feed I'm going to have just down here somewhere. This is where the fish was when I retrieved it, and it splashed down there. So I'm going to have one down there somewhere, one out in open water, and one I'm going to try and fish close to the trees over there. There's the local heron. But yeah, it's a bit nippy this morning. I'd say it's 7:30. It's supposed to be getting up to almost 20 today, or around about 20. But at the moment it's a bit chilly. Excuse me. At the moment it's a bit chilly and overcast. So I have got a new bit of kit. I've got a new rod pod, so I'm going to get that in a minute and put it up. Although I've not got it out of the bag yet. Let's see how that goes. The greenskeepers are out there, just sorting out the course for the day. Yeah, I'll catch up with you in a minute. Alright folks, so this is the new bit of kit. It's the NGT dual line pod. It was 50 quid, it was an offer at the moment when I went into Angling Direct the other day. Really pleased with it. The only thing I'd like it to do is the end just be able, so you could just part them a little bit, so the tips are a little bit further apart from each other. That's not adjustable, but the heights are adjustable. These legs are adjustable, so they can be spread out even further if necessary, or they can be more straight if you maybe stick it into a ground. But yeah, the annoying thing is I thought I had 2 of these butt rests, but I've not. So I've just to put that on the third rod. But yeah, that's the setup. I've also only got 2 swingers, but that's going to be on the quiver tip anyway. So you know, I've got that as well as the alarm. But yeah, let's now it's time to get some bait sorted out and get fired out and fishing. That's taken half an hour so far to get that to where I am now. So let's finish off getting stuff out the car and baiting up and chucking out. Right, so I'm going to start off with the method feeder. Got my normal Guru 24 gram, so I think it's a medium size feeder. I'm using the sticky method pellets, red today, from Bait Tech. All prepared. And I'm going to start off with Spike and Wafters 8mm, nice and bright. So yeah, so I'm going to start with on that. So I'm going to get that baited up, chuck that before I set up everything else. I'm actually going to start with them, the 10mm Bandom fluoro Wafters, because these are Wafters, the others are Spike-ons, and I've got a band on. Right folks, in true Joe fashion, I have bought some new leads, but I've left them at home. So I'm going to have to go with, I've got a couple of stones which I bought years ago. That's one of them. I don't know how heavy they are. They're not that heavy, to be fair. And the other one's there. And I'm going to use these Nashbait Scopex Squid 15mm boilers. Nashbait's not something I've used in my fishing at all, but we got a bag free when we were at the fishing show, the tackle, I can't remember what it's called now, the big show a couple of months ago, and I got a bag and my dad also got a bag because we both bought VIP tickets, but he didn't want his, so he's give me his as well. So I've got 2 bags of that to use over the season, and I've got some pellets still that I've made a few bags, PVA bags up with some pellets in it that were made ages ago. I'm not too sure what the pellets are. I think they're just plain pellets, to be fair, but yeah, so let's get the bait on, let's get the Scopex on here, get this cast out, then we can relax. I'll set up the third rod a bit slower, take my time. It's now 20 past 8, so by 8:30 I should have 2 rods out in the water. Right folks, well, as you can see, I remembered the tripod today. So now I've got all my stuff sorted out, the 2 rods are out still, the third one just about to start setting up. I've not got my microphones on today. I'll see how it goes. If I'm doing a lot of back car stuff, I may get the microphones out, but for now I'm not going to bother. Yeah, it's now 9:15. I'll tell you, 2 rods have been out for 5 minutes or so. I've just set up my camp a little bit, got my table here with my bits and pieces on, got some lunch and drinks in the trusty call bag. I fired around about 20 to 25 boilies over where I cast to middle rod 2. I'll probably leave that for an hour or so. I've also set up, I've had these bite alarms with the sounder box, so I've also set this up as well. So all my alarms are actually on silent, but I've got the alarms coming through this. So if I do wander off to the car or whatever, I can just have that in my pocket and not bother anyone really. So not that there's anyone here. But yeah, I just thought I'd try it because I've not used it before. It's the first time I've used the sounder box. But yeah, it's getting a little bit muggy-ish already. I'm hoping that just means it's going to warm up and it's not going to storm. It's not, the clouds are still dark, but it's still reasonably early. It was supposed to brighten up until after lunch. It's going to be cloudy all morning. Oh, sorry, I'm just watching the dragon fly behind. Yeah, like I say, I've got 5-6 hours, if not a bit longer. We'll see how the day goes really. I'm hoping I don't get another blank. But if I do, it's all about learning every time you go, so I'll take something else away from the session with any luck. But for now, just going to chill out, relax for 10 minutes before I go and set up the third rod, and just enjoy the peace and quiet. Right folks, so I've just had another chuck out of the method feeder. I just wound it in, no weed on it, so it's quite good. Chucked that to roughly the same sort of spot, a little bit further out this time. Was a bit too close to my liking the first time, but a little bit further out. So now I'm going to set up this third rod. So I've got on a little shock leader. This is just the, is it the Advanta range? So it's just a cheap leader. I'm not too sure what size is because I've threw the box away. And I'm going to try the trod rig. I was going to try it last time, but didn't have any to put the bait on, but I've now got some bait floss, but I don't need it because this has got spikes on it. Anyway, it's going to be more organised after we use the fish. I'm going to put on some Activate pop-ups. I found these when I was going through my gear. I used to love using Activate when I used to fish with my dad 15 years ago. That was the big thing at that point. So I'm going to shove the Activate on. I've got faith in that bait with a trod rig. It's a size 8 wide gape, barbless. Yeah, I'm going to give this a go. This, like I say, this one I'm going to chuck over in that direction there. Sorry, B. Towards the trees a bit, and see what it's like over there. So yeah, let's give it a go. a little bit later now. It's 10:15. Just recast out the method feeder again. I have got my little tranny on, listening to a bit of Radio 2. Can't pick up an awful lot over here, so used to be a Radio 2. Yeah, had a little go of my drone. I should put up a little bit of footage now of what I've got. It wasn't great, quality is not great, but it was a cheap Temu thing I bought like a year ago. Well, I say a year ago, probably bought about 4 or 5 years ago. Never really used it much, but I thought I'd have a little go over here. Like I say, the quality is not great, as you'd have seen, and I'm not really good at flying it yet. But that's something I wanted. That's why I bought a cheap one. I wanted to get a cheap one, try and fly it a bit, and I will probably not, maybe not today again, but I will go somewhere and try and fly it about, get the hang of it, because I don't want to get an expensive one, or even a half expensive one. Fly it about, crash it, and bugger it up. So I've got the cheap one, and I'm sure the controls aren't as good as some of the more expensive ones and stuff like that. But I've got a cheap one just to give myself a little bit of practice and stuff like that. I have got a mate, Simon, who's very good with drones. He's had a little side business for a while of doing some drone stuff. So I'll probably show him, and we'll have a little play around with it and stuff like that, and he'll show me a bit more about it. But I've done a little go over here. It's not as easy as it looks. For anyone that does fly drones, he's good at it. Well done. It was harder than I thought it would be, and obviously I was nervous about it flying into the lake. I don't know why, because it flew into the lake. Like I say, it's a cheapie. It was about 20-25 quid, something like that. As you can probably just see, the sun is starting to come out a little bit, and because the sun is in front of me the whole day, I'm not sure if this was a good idea. It's a bit thick, even though it's a short sleeve one. But hopefully the clouds will stay covering over the sun most of the day, because it's quite nice when there's no sun out. But yeah, I've had a little bleep on the middle rod, but I don't know if it's just because I just adjusted the rod pod a little bit, lowered the front and higher the back a little bit, so it's a bit more pointed down, because there's a breeze coming across, and I had a couple of times I could see the tips bouncing quite a bit. So yeah, no fish to report. Like I say, one bleep, but I don't think that was a fish, not sure. But all 3 rods out and see how things go. Alright folks, still nothing. It's just gone 11 o'clock. I'm just wound in the old method feeder again. With a bit of weed on it this time. It's just wrapped it around a little bit. But yeah, so I've been using an orange wafter, bright orange wafter. I'm going to change to a yellow now, just change the colour. See if that makes any difference. Sometimes it's just a colour change can make a difference. So yeah, with the red of the pellets, with the redness of the pellets, maybe something a bit different, the yellow of the actual wafter. Let's see what these pellets are like now. They were a little bit dry last time, so I put some water on them. But like the sun's come out, so I'm just kind of drying them out a bit. Yeah, see, there's quite a dark, deep red pellets when they're wet. So yeah, let's chuck that out to roughly the same sort of spot. there you go, there's that one. I'm going to wind in the other carp rod once over by the island, and put a PJ bag on that and get that cast out of there. The confidence I had this morning is just started to dip a bit. Like I said, the water I was supposed to go with my dad yesterday is his club water in Essex, which he's allowed a guest on every now and again. So I'm hoping it's a bit more of a, well, my dad and my nephew catch there quite regularly, so I'm hoping that next week I'll get a few fish on the bank. But I've picked some hard venues. Obviously there's this Syndicate, which is hard because you're cut off from so much of the lake, and the river system, which obviously, you know, rivers these days are not as good as they once were. So I picked two challenging things to do really with the Syndicate this year and the rivers last year, and I will go back on the rivers this year as well. We'll join the Wiltshire Angling Club again. Even if I don't fish it much, it's just to you know, help the local angling association. It's not a lot of money for the rivers we've got, so yeah, I enjoy the rivers as well. And I feel like that when I fish in the rivers, I can just do. I won't be such a big setup and stuff like that. Whereas the Syndicate, I really want to, you know, my maximum attempt to try and catch a fish. Horses for courses, but like I say, I like fishing both. But I will fish a couple of run towards if I don't get any fish, because I can only talk so much on these videos, and yeah, I keep blanking every week, or every month, however long I go. Keep blanking all the time. It's not exactly exciting for you guys, but hopefully, like I say, next week, if I don't catch today, hopefully next week I'll get a few fish from my dad's club water. Right folks, getting on for 12 o'clock. Time for a spot of lunch. Got myself a cheap chocolate bar as well. Quite nice. Homemade ham salad, such as iceberg, cucumber, spring onion, tomatoes. It's not ham actually, it was cooked chicken. So it's little chicken salad. So that's going to be my lunch. Still no bites at all. I've seen a cormorant. There was a cormorant down towards where my method feed was. So it's diving around there, so I brought it in and I've just recast it straight up. Just see if anything's out there. But yeah, I'm gonna chill out now for a bit. I've only been chilling out all morning. I'm gonna chill out for a bit, eat my lunch, drink me Pepsi Max Cherry. I'm not sponsored. And yeah, hope for a bite after lunch. At some point I'm going to have to come over here for an evening session, I think. To get here at 1-2 o'clock. To stay up until dusk. I think at the moment, although I was here reasonably early today, I'm still not getting rods and water until like 8:30. And obviously that's probably a little bit past an early morning fish. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. For now, lunchtime. Alright folks, I've just cast out the one over to the island again. I've cast it a bit closer again. We'll see how that goes. I'm now going to change the rafter for a pink one. So I've had orange on, I've had yellow on. Now I'm going for pink. There's a little bit of weed on it, not a lot though. So I'm quite confident it's right over down that margin. I don't know if you can hear actually. I've not got any crystals or anything in these pellets this time, just the plain red ones. Let's put this cast on again. gentle toss. Get the line sunk. Get it in there. That's it. Now the middle rod I'm going to leave a bit longer just before I recast the left hand one. I was in the car for 10 minutes. I did have a single bleep on that middle one. I don't know if it was just a gust of wind or something, but there was a single bleep, so I'm going to leave that there for a bit longer. It's 1 o'clock, so we'll see how the fishing goes for the next hour or two. Probably leave it another half an hour on that middle rod. The left hand rod now, unless I get something on it, is probably going to stay there until the end. Obviously the right hand, the method feed, I'll be bringing in every 20 minutes or so. We can but hope. Well folks, it is now 2:30. Still nothing. I've recast the method feeder a couple of times since last time, and I've just recast the middle rod, and I've put a bag of a PVA bag full of pellets as well on that rod as well. So yeah, I had a couple of bleeps on that left hand rod to the island. Don't know if it was liners or what, I'm not too sure, but yeah, I've seen no sign of fish at all. It's not looking good. I'm at a bit of a loss, to be honest here. If anyone's got any ideas, please feel free to comment below. I'm going to try maybe sweet corn next time. Be corn or fake corn. That's a possibility. Apart from that, I'm not really too sure. Maybe worms as well, because I think there's perch in here. And bream obviously will take worm. Well, every fish will take worm, but you know, maybe worms is another. If they're for natural baits in here, and that's maybe an option. But yeah, I'm fishing okay. I'm not fishing great, but I feel like I'm fishing well enough to get a bite. Obviously, as I said, the big thing is where the fish are. Are they all the way down the other end of the lake? In which case there's not an awful lot I can do, except for just keep coming over here, putting the bait in, and hoping that the fish draw down here at some point during the year. Yeah, I've paid for the year on the Syndicate. I'm going to do the year. I'm going to fish here regularly, hopefully once a month. Obviously we've got the holiday in September, October, so you know, closer to September might be harder to get out, but you know, the next couple of months I'm going to get out at least once a month over here. Try and get down to the river a couple of times. They're not going to be long sessions like these are though. They'll probably only be 3-4 hours at a time over there on the river. I've got my 10-metre pole that I got at the show as well, so I need to get that out at some point. That's for the river I was going to use that for. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of fishing ahead of me this year and this season over in this Syndicate. Yeah, at the moment it's hard work. Right folks, 3:30. I've just recast the method feeder again over to my right, and balled the last bits of pellets are just balled up and chucked over the top as well. So fingers crossed they can up in the next 20-30 minutes, but I'm going to call it soon. This has been another disappointing day. The third tricky session down here on this Syndicate. As I said all along, I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but hopefully at some point, if I can wangle out a fish of it, it's going to feel so much better. The fact I know I've done it and put in some hard work. Anyway, I won't ramble too much. Like I say, it's just another session. If I do catch, obviously, I'll show you the fish that I get. But for now, that's me signing off for another session, another disappointing session. Hopefully, like I say, next week I should be in Essex fishing with my dad, so I'll be filming a little bit there. Hopefully get some more fish and a bit easier sessions than these last three have been. But anyway, tight lines, take care and enjoy your own angling. Until I see you on the bank again soon, bye for now.